As teachers, we have all been looking for a great way to create a fillable PDF without having Acrobat access, which is something that not everybody has. So what's great about this method, and I'm going to show you what we're going to turn this PDF into, is that students can very quickly and easily just fill in the blanks that you've created, and they'll be able to submit it directly to you so that you can grade it with SpeedGrader. So here's what you need to get started. Obviously, you're going to need the PDF. Just make sure it's saved to your computer. You're also going to need to be signed into Office 365 and go ahead and sign into your course that you'd like to add this assignment to. I only have Studio open because that's what I'm using to record. All right, let's get started. To start, open up your PDF, and if you notice, it's kind of taking up too much of my screen. I'm just going to hold down on my keyboard Control minus until it's a size where I can see the whole screen. Okay. There we go. All right. And I'm going to scroll down a little bit. I really want to be able to grab all of this. And I'm going to take a snipping of the first and second page, or however many pages that I need to snip. So I'll just use this snipping tool. If you don't have it docked to your toolbar here, you can use Snagit or just type in snipping tool, and that it'll be right here available for you to open. Some have switched over to snip and sketch, but the same thing, if you type the word snip, it's going to pull up. So I'm just going to snip this. It's going to open up my little snipping box and choose new. And I just want to get an image of this whole page and try to grab as much of it as you can. And then I'm going to save that in a place where I can easily find it. Okay. Then I'm going to do a new snip. Oops, let me pause for just a moment because I want to load up the second page. Now I can get a new snip of the second page. And I can save that page as well. Okay, so now I'm done with the PDF. I can minimize that and head on over to Microsoft Office. Now we're going to use PowerPoint for this process, but I recommend that you start in OneDrive. The reason for that is you can create a folder space that has all of your cloud assignments. So to do that, you would do new folder and just title it cloud assignments. Since I already have one, I'm just going to go directly there. And I'm going to do new again and PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so here's the tricky part about PowerPoint rather. It's in this 16:9 view by default. So I'm going to make this blank. And I'm actually going to go to the tell me what you want to do box. That for me is just easier than searching. And I'm going to type in the word size. Choose slide size and then custom slide size. And we're going to turn this into a piece of paper. So I want the width to be 8.5 and the height to be 11. Now you would reverse those if you wanted them to be landscape. So now I'm going to ensure fit. And there we go. We've got a paper-sized slide here. From here, I'm not going to insert the image that we snipped from the PDF. Rather, I'm going to type in background and then a picture from a file. Choose file, and then I'm going to locate that PDF that we saved. So there's one. The reason I wanted it to be on the background is because I'm going to begin adding text boxes for students to type. And the last thing I want to happen is for this page to slip or move and then the boxes be not in the right spots. So that's the reason for background. So I'm going to insert a new slide and we'll just do blank. And now I'm going to follow that same procedure. Background. And of course there's keyboard shortcuts to do all of this, but I'm just taking you through the process that I use. Choose file. Now I'm going to find that second page and open. Oh, I'm sorry, insert. So now I've got my document here and I am ready to begin adding my blanks. Adding the blanks is probably the part that is the most tedious in this whole process, and it's really not a big deal. What I'm going to do is I'm going to type in text box, and I'm going to create a text box for students to type in. So it sort of falls down to the middle of the page, and you notice the font is a little bit larger, and I also want them to be able to see it pretty well. So we're going to do a few little changes here. I'm going to come over here to my home key, and I'm going to drop the font down just a little bit to a manageable size. 10.5 looks good here. I'm going to shrink up that text box just a bit. And then, now I can drag my text box. If you like, you can always change the color, change the fill of this text box so that they can see it easy. That's going to be this button right here. So as long as it's selected, I like a nice soft gray. Oh, I'm sorry. I changed the outline. Let's not change the outline. My mistake. Change the fill. This button right here with the paint bucket. Okay. So once you have your size that you like, you can just hold down Control C, click out of it, and just hit Control V. Oops, wrong one. Let me grab that again. Make sure you have selected the text box. Control C, Control V. Let me try that again. Control, let's move it out of the way. We'll go with a right click on this one. Right click, copy, then paste. There we go. Took me a quick second. And from there, you can just sort of edit as you see fit. So this is the tricky part, but now I can just make as many text boxes as I want, move them to their proper blanks. And once I'm done with that, the rest of this process is easy. So I'm going to take a moment to pause and I'll fill in those blanks so you can see what that looks like. Okay, so while I was paused, I decided to change add text here to blank. It was a little bit easier to manipulate, especially since there's so much text on this page. And I also centered the text. That way when students type, that text box will grow on both sides and help make it a little bit easier. Of course, they can use their word banks to the right. Since it's an image, they're not going to be able to copy and paste that, but they should be practicing typing anyway, so hooray for them. When you are done with this entire document, it takes about 5 minutes or so to finish, you don't need to do anything else here. It automatically saves, and sometimes I like to refresh just to test that and double check. But since it is cloud-based, it should be automatically saving. So let's talk about how we can take what we did in PowerPoint and turn it into this amazing cloud assignment. It's pretty easy. This is the teacher view when it's complete. All you have to do is just make sure that you're signed in through this Office 365 link. It's been a little finicky lately, so if it gives you a funny error message, just sign out and sign back in or try a different browser. But I think they've got that all patched up. Again, that's that Office 365 link. Usually you can do that one time and you're good to go, but every once in a while it loses it. So in your course, when you are ready, you're going to choose to create a new assignment. I'm going to go ahead and go to the one that I already have created. And I strongly recommend, oops, that is a Word document that was the same thing. So that's a good example of something that you can use, a Word template. Let me get down to the one we were talking about. Oops. There we go. I had to pause. I am noticing that while I'm screencasting, it really does not like to open these cloud assignments. So I might have to pause here and there to show you. But basically in the assignment settings, all you'll need to do to make that appear is an external tool, and then you'll find on your list Office Cloud Assignments. Once you click that, it's going to pull up your OneDrive and you just choose the PowerPoint that you created that we saved in that Cloud Assignment folder. So I've already got that done. I do recommend that you give students instructions that they need to sign in through Office 365 through ClassLink right here at the top, and then also this Office 365 link. That just makes everything run really smooth, or smoothly rather. So that is the teacher side, just an assignment with an external tool. Here's what the student side looks like. When they first open They'll have your instructions, they'll have the PowerPoint or document, whichever you chose. If it's a little bit small, they can click this open button, and that's going to give them this nice space here to begin typing. Before they can type anything, they'll edit in the browser. And hopefully I don't get that funny screencasting message. No, I didn't. So now the students can just type in the box once it loads. There we go. Now I can type. And then when they are done typing, all they'll need to do is click submit. And now that can be graded with Speed Grader on the teacher side. So it sounds like a long process, but it's not too much. It's just a matter of turning a PDF into a PowerPoint and just adding it into ClassLink Canvas. And that is just a tech tip on how to create a fillable PDF so that you no longer have to ask your students to print.